Well, I'm getting ready. It's not quite 4:44, but I'm here just a little bit early because it's fun. And I'm super excited because I'm about to share with you a whole bunch of super fun, juicy money mindset strategies. So I'm just going to get myself organized and then we'll get started at 4:44 on the dot. All right, so hello. I love that you're here early. Hi, Savi. Hi, Leticia. So I'm going to start right at 4:44. So I'm just going to get myself organized. Go ahead and type hello in the comments. Tell me where you're from and what's your biggest, baddest, scariest money mindset block. And then we'll address it. I know there were a couple, and actually, let me see if I can see the old, because I saw some comments earlier today. So let me see if I can find those. All right. All right, it's 4:44, so I'm going to get started, and I'm super duper excited because I love talking about money mindset. I just love it, love it, love it, love it. And the reason that I love it, love it, love it, love it is because so many people, especially women, sell themselves short. They talk smack about themselves, they undersell themselves, they come up with all these excuses for why they can't make money. And I'm really on a mission to begin to shift that. I'm really on a mission to begin to help women understand that they can be as wealthy and as powerful as you want to be, because you're made from the same source that everything is made from. So I want to just dive right in. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you for being part of this community and for supporting me and for sharing yourself with me. It just means so much to me that we're all in this conversation together. So what I want to start talking about today is something very simple, and we're going to parse it. And that is, if you want to make more money, you have to focus on making more money. Somebody write that down. If you want to make more money, you have to focus on making more money. If you want to make more money, you have to focus on making more money. So let's break that down from a money mindset perspective. Will somebody type that into the chat so that people can see? If you want to make more money, you have to focus on making more money. So just type that in so that people who are watching this later can begin to see that. So let's talk about focus. Your mindset is about your focus, right? Your mindset is about, what are you looking for? Are you expecting to fail, or are you expecting to succeed? Are you expecting to be loved and adored, or are you expecting to be rejected? So what you're focusing on makes a tremendous difference. If, I'm going to use the analogy of driving in a car. So when you're driving, you have a side mirror. If you're looking in the side mirror, you can see what's to either side of you, a little bit behind you, right? But you have a blind spot. So not a good way to navigate by driving in the side mirror, because you have a big blind spot. If you're driving in the rear, by looking in the rear view mirror, you can only see what's going on behind you. You can see what's chasing you, and that might make you nervous, right? You're looking in the rear view mirror to see if they're cops, because then you're in trouble. Metaphorically speaking, when you drive your life as though you are always looking in the rear view mirror, you're driving your life looking back at your past to see if you're going to get in trouble. That's no way to drive your life, especially if you want to have a life of freedom. You can't always be worrying about getting in trouble, that is really going to rob you of your freedom. Are you kidding? If you're afraid you're going to get in trouble, you are not going to be wild. You're not going to be bold. You're not going to be completely creative and self-expressing and taking risks because you're afraid that you're going to do it wrong, or somebody's not going to like it, or somebody's going to be pissed off, or somebody will judge you, or you'll make a fool of yourself. And God forbid, then, you'll be shamed, or like, who the F cares? If you're driving your life by looking in the rear view mirror, you're not going to get to where you want to go. Now look at the windshield of your car. Look how much bigger the windshield is than both your side mirrors and your rear view mirror put together. The biggest window that you're looking through when you're driving is the windshield. And what are you looking at when you're driving and you're looking through the windshield? You're looking at the road ahead. You're looking at terrain you haven't covered yet, right? Let's say you're driving from Boulder to Boston. I live in Boulder. So if I'm driving from Boulder to Boston, it's about 2,000 miles. I can't see Boston from here. I can't even see Western Massachusetts from here. I can't even see Ohio from here. But I know if I want to go to Boston, I'm going to set my GPS to Boston and I'm going to get the instructions. Here's how you get there. And I know there are many routes that could get me there, but I still have to go in that direction. And I'm going to keep driving in that direction, even though for the first 36 hours, I'm not there. I'm going to keep going. Your mindset is like that. If you want to focus on making more money, you're going to have a goal in mind, and you just keep your eye on what it is that you're wanting. Now, this is a bit, we'll get to this when I get to the last word in the thing, focus on making more money. We're just talking about focus right now. But when, you want to focus on where you're going. You want to focus on where you're going, right? So you're super, super, super focused on moving forward. What would move you forward? Who would you be? How will you act? What will you speak like? How will you dress? What will your energy be like? Right? If you're going to focus on making more money, you believe there's some quality that having more money would give you. What's the quality? Go ahead and type it in the comments. I'm curious to know, what do you think is the quality? Like, how do you think you'd feel if you had more money? What's the quality? And I don't know that I can actually see your comments. I can see there are a whole bunch of you here. Yay! Well, maybe I see it backwards. Nope, I don't see any comments yet. So, ask yourself, how would you feel if you made more money? And then, when you're clear about, well, I would feel more confident. I'd have more energy. I'd feel more creative. I'd take more risks. I'd invest in myself. I'd do da-da-da-da-da. Just get super clear about what is it that you want to focus on. What's the feeling? That's really what you're after. Because money comes and goes. Money's going to come in and it's going to get, go out to the yoga studio. It's going to come in. It's going to go out to Whole Foods. It's going to come into your bank account. It's going to go to the yoga studio. It's going to come in. It's going to go to your car payment. It's just going to come in and go out. It's going to come in and go out. Okay, so awesome. So Lauren, you said you'd feel free. So what does it mean for you to feel free? What are the conditions that would make you feel free? What do you do that feels free? Put yourself in those conditions immediately. If, for me, meditation, I feel so free when I meditate. So I love to meditate, immediate. Swimming, I feel so free. So I like to get in the pool every single day. Writing, reading, there's so many ways that I can feel free. Cooking, I get to make it up. Creativity, I get to make it up. What are the conditions, right? The goal that you're after. If the goal that you're after is freedom, what can you do right now that is liberating for you? What would be a risk, just a tiny little risk that you'd be willing to take that makes you feel free? Maybe it's something small. Like, I remember when I first, it's funny for me to share this, but when I first started my business, I hadn't yet had the experience ever of making more than, I don't know, probably the highest amount of money I'd ever made was 75, 80,000. And I just really wanted to break six figures. And I remember in the first year that was a goal, that was a thing that I wanted to do. I just wanted to have that experience. And who were these people who could do that? So one of the things that I did that made me feel free was I would get super dressed up in the morning, and I work in a home office. So I'd get super dressed up in the morning and I'd put on like my nicest skirt and a lace bra and earrings and essential oils. And I would just get like super decked out, like I was going on a date with myself, which I am every day. I'm always on a date with myself. And I wouldn't wear underwear. And I'd come down into my office without wearing underwear. And it just felt like such a rule breaker to walk around like doing business and having client calls and stuff without underwear on. And I was just like, you know, it totally turned me on to be walking around without underwear, and it made me feel really free. And, you know, nobody knew. And maybe I should do that again. I haven't done it in a really long time. But anyway, that's just one example of something that I did in the very beginning. Like I created conditions for myself so that I would feel free, so that I would feel confident. What do you need to do for you, right? Just be that right now. You don't need money to be that. You can be free and wild and, you know, go hiking and shout at the top of your lungs at a mountain and go nude swimming in a mountain lake. And, you know, like there's so many ways to just be in ecstasy that don't require a lot of money. So what would those be? So that's the focus part of it. If you want to make more money, you have to focus on making more money. So when I'm talking about focus, I want you to know, what are you focusing on? What are you paying attention to? Are you paying attention to what's wrong, or are you paying attention to what's right? That's such a simple question. And the quality of the questions that you ask really determine how you feel in life. You know, are you asking, what's great about this? What did I do that worked? What's great about me? What's great about the situation? What's great about the crunchiness here? Like, what can I learn from this? There's so many awesome questions that you can ask yourself. And, you know, we're always asking ourselves questions. Always. Always, always, always. What should I have for dinner? Should I wear green or black today? What earrings should I wear? Do I want to drive or ride my bike? You know, do I want to sleep in, or do I want to get up and meditate? Or, you know, like, we're always asking questions. Always. Everything that you do has a question that preceded the action. Will this be fun for me or not? Is this joyful or not? Do I want this or not? And it's super easy to abdicate from answering questions. But once you realize that the quality of your question actually is like the headlight that's pointing you in that direction. So if you ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Well, you're going to come up with 1,001 reasons to find something wrong with you, because that's what you're looking for. And the thing about your mind, the mind, is that the mind loves to solve problems. It just loves it. It's like the best field trip ever to solve problems. So if that's how your mind is wired, that you really, really, really love to solve problems, you know what you're going to do to make your mind really, really, really happy? You're going to create problems so that your mind has something to do. Let me tell you a story, which it's funny to me because it's funny to me. Everything's funny to me. So I have a Volkswagen, and it's an old Volkswagen, and I love it. And it's a 2001, so it's an 18-year-old car, and I just love it. It's super fun to drive, and I call it my Shakti Mobile, and it's black, and I just love it. I just love driving. I love being in my car. I love playing mantra at full volume and chanting my heart out. I just love it. And it has a key fob, and the fob broke. And the fob broke probably 10 years ago, and it's been duct taped together, and it's super sticky, and every time, and sometimes it falls apart, and sometimes the key fob falls off the rest of my house key ring, and it's just super sticky because it's been duct taped so many years. And it finally got to the point last week where I was just like, I've had it. I hate getting my hand all sticky. I hate that the key's covered with duct tape. It feels gross. It looks gross. It's ugly. It's sticky. And like, I just want a new key fob. So a new key fob costs like between $300 and $400. And this is why I hadn't gotten a key fob up until that point, because I was like, oh, that's a lot of money. I can just like live with the annoyance. But I got to a point in my being, or in my wealth consciousness, where I was like, no, like I am no longer willing to tolerate the annoyance of having a sticky key fob. Like, it just, it's an energy leak. Every time I drive somewhere, I'm just like, and like, I was noticing that's a big energy leak, that like I'm in joy, I'm in flow, I'm creating, like, things are great. And I pick up my car keys and I'm like, and I could feel myself pinching myself off from the flow of joy and abundance. So I'm like, nope, I'm going to get a new key. So I said to my husband, I'm going to get a new key. I'm going to go to the dealer. It's going to be $400. I'm just going to freaking do it. And my husband's like, what? That's a lot of money. Give me your key. So my husband is one of those kind of guys who is an engineer, and he's got the problem-solving brain. He loves to solve problems. Nothing makes him happier. So he took apart the key fob, he got on Google, and he figured it out, and he ordered the parts, and he like engineered this whole thing, and voila, I have a brand new key fob, and it cost $28. And because my husband engineered it, like he bought the parts on Amazon, and he watched videos, and he was super creative and inventive, and he put it together, and he's super proud of himself, and he's super confident because he solved a painful, urgent, expensive problem for me. And I'm super psyched because like I was all ready to spend the money. Like I was over the scarcity thing. I was like, I totally deserve to have a key that feels good and clean and smooth in my hands, and I'm gonna have that brand new key. And my husband was like, here you go. So it's just a funny story about different perspective, right? For me, I just wanted it solved. I didn't care how. And my husband, he actually wanted to take it apart and look at every little grain and silicon wire and chip, and I don't know what all the stuff is in there, but there was like a green chip and a bunch of circuits and knobs and dials and stuff, and he was into that. So anyway, my point is that you get to choose. You get to choose what's fun for you. For me, I was like, I want something that feels really good to me. And my husband was like, nope, I want to figure it out. And I got to save $400 in the process. I got a new key, and I got to save $400. So I have $400 extra now in my bank account. My husband got the pleasure of fixing something, and he's a quality time and a do nice things kind of guy in the love languages. So it was like a win-win for everybody. And that's what I'm talking about with focus. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what lights you up? Are you standing in your power or trying to please another person? Are you focusing on diminishing yourself so that somebody else will feel good about them? That's a big money leak, and that's based on scarcity. So that's a little bit about focus. Just ask yourself, what are you focusing on? Okay, so the next pit, focus. If you want to make more money, you have to focus on making more money. So now let's talk about the word on. Small word, very big, important word. Do you feel like you're on, or do you feel like you're off? So many people I work with feel like they're off. They feel like something's wrong with you. So just ask yourself, do you feel like you're on? Do you want to be on? What does it mean to be on? Do you want to have more energy? I'd love it if you share in the comments, yes, I want more energy, or what is it that really feels alive for you? So this question of are you on or are you off? I think about this in terms of electricity. Electricity is always on, but if your light switches off at the wall, it seems like it's dark. The minute you flip the switch, electricity is flowing. The minute you unflip the switch, it's dark. Your money mindset is just like that. Your money mindset is your capacity to connect to the all that is. Your money mindset is your capacity to realize that the source of all electricity, the source of all abundance, the source of all love, the source of all possibility is flowing through you right now. It's flowing through you right now. In terms of money, there are billions upon trillions upon squillions of bits of euros and dollars and Bitcoin and other bits of electronic currency constantly flowing through you. Money is energy, just like electricity is energy. And it's about you flipping a switch in you so that you're willing to receive more, and you're willing to invest more. You're willing to receive more, and you're willing to contribute more. You're willing to serve more. You're willing to show up more. You're willing to participate more. If you pretend that you're only partially worthwhile, if you pretend like you're only partially valuable, if you pretend like you only are partially deserving, what you are broadcasting is, hey, I only want to be partially paid. I only want to be partially loved. Really? Is that what you're going to sign up for? Not me. That's not what I teach, and that's not what I live. And honestly, as spirit walking around in a human body, we have an incredible privilege in these bodies, which are electrical and they're magnetic. And they're nothing without spirit. They're nothing without breath of life. They're nothing. If you've ever hung out with somebody who's left their body, or you've had an animal die, once the spirit's gone, they're dead, right? It's a shell. Your life force is related to the amount of money flowing through your system. Your life force is related to the amount that you let yourself be turned on. And I said in some Facebook post or some email that I sent earlier today that I was going to talk about sex, because sex and money are the same thing, because they're both about creativity. Your second chakra is the creative chakra, and it has to do with, how do you create another human? And from a business perspective, you are creating another version of you. Every product that comes out of you is some version of you. It is an essential reproduction of you. It's like you're your original, we humans are the original 3D printers, right? And you print another version of you, whether it's an online course, or product, or a baby, or a book, or a movie, or you choreograph a dance, or you build a website, whatever your jam is, right? You are producing from you an essential version of you. Hey, Nick, are you online? Because I have your book right in my living room. I think of you every day because I read the book a couple weeks ago, and it's just been sitting on the floor, that book that you wrote with Ari. So I'm super psyched if that's really you and you're online. So anyway, back to the on thing. You want to notice where your energy is flowing, right? If you have turned off your light switch to your own self, you've diminished your capacity to receive more money, more love, more ease, more inspiration, more support, right? How much are you willing to receive? It has everything to do with your income. Think about it. Your income is what do you allow to flow in to you? How much breath are you willing to breathe in? You can breathe in as much as you want. It's not going to stop anybody else from inhaling as much as they want. But people get weird about money. They think, oh, if I make more money, I'm going to deprive somebody of money. It doesn't work like that. You can have as much money flowing through your system because it's going to flow right on out. You can have as much money flowing through your system because you are in service, and you are sharing, and you are uplifting, and you are contributing to something bigger than you. You're going to have a money block if you're a hoarder. You're going to have a money block if you're a taker and you're not so much of a giver. But money wants to flow. I mean, think about the word abundance. Smack in the middle of that word, unda means wave. Think about affluent. What does it mean? Flowing toward, fluency, flowing. Current means same, flowing, right? All these money words, they have to do with flow. They have to do with current. They have to do with waves, right? A wave comes in and a wave goes out. They have to do with these patterns of expand and contract, and ebb and flow. And money follows those same laws of physics that every cell in you is following. It's really, really amazing when you begin to see money in this way. So back to focus on making more money. In the on part of the focusing on, where's your attention going? Is your attention only going into the contraction, right? Are you only focusing on, oh, I don't have money, and I don't have clients, and I don't have marketing, and I don't have a website yet? And if that's where you're putting your energy on what you don't have, may I tell you, friends, that you are actually building a super highway towards more of not having. If your attention is going into the not having, you are designing a life of more not having. So I implore you, I invite you, not implore, it's really up to you what you choose to do with your attention. But I would recommend that you begin to focus on what feels really good for you. I begin to focus on my creativity. If I were you, I'd begin to focus on how can I serve more? How can I share more?